Hey up! We're at the beach. It's not a very good one, but it's the only one I've found that you don't have to pay for. And by pay for, I mean over 20 bucks. Bloody hell! So what do I want to talk about today? I want to talk about something along the lines of, I'm going to call it the early morning dread, the early morning foreboding. Does that resonate with you? Do you wake up in the mornings, even if it's just, you know, a little bit? I'm not saying you're having a huge crisis, but just a little bit of a feeling of another day. Or what comes up for me, certainly when I was in England, and this is, you know, it's not necessarily an England thing, it's more like living in my parents' bedroom thing. It was like, how am I going to get through today? How am I going to go downstairs now and make pleasantries and pointless conversation and be in noise and technology and listen to Sky Sports News, Sky Sports News, Sky Sports News, oh, with a break for BBC News, then back to Sky Sports News. So yeah, it was a much stronger feeling when I was in England. But this morning I woke up, and it might be, so I ran out of weed. This is day 2 that I've not smoked, which definitely overall, not smoking the ganja helps alleviate this feeling that I'm speaking of. But I think when you're in the first 24 hours, it's yeah, it brings it on more. There's something about being able to wake up and have a joint that allows, well, I was going to say it allows an escapism from that feeling, but it doesn't really. It actually increases it and brings it on more. But psychologically, the fleshy part, the shadow, the stupid human part essentially, believes that it does help. So I wonder if that's why it was particularly strong this morning. I can't really say, even when I'm traveling and doing, you know, interesting stuff, I can't really say I wake up with any excitement for the day. I can't say I'm ever really raring to go. Sometimes if I've got a new project, like when I first started this channel, which channel is this? Oh yeah, this channel, and more so the traveling channel, this one, which I've only been doing for, I think it's a week, if that. The first and it took off. The first video was on 28,000 views, the first video that I posted. For the first 4 days of having that channel, and probably the first 4 days of having this one, I can't really remember now, it was definitely like, oh yeah, I'm gonna create some content for that channel, and how many views will I get? But you know, after just a week, that's already worn off. So yeah, it's very hard to, it's not even, you know, I'm speaking into it like it's a big problem. It's not, it's a noticing, it's a subtle noticing of a feeling of despondency / foreboding, a minor feeling that I notice every morning. And it's that feeling that drives me to go and get a coffee and to have 2 cigarettes. And there's like a story that I need that. But if I don't have my coffee, I can't make a YouTube video. If I don't have my coffee, the day is just going to be horrendous. And that includes the tobacco too. It's all just a story. It's all just a coping mechanism. And I'm not shaming any of this. I'm not saying, oh my God, I do this. Oh, you know, shaming never gets you anywhere. And also, really, I acknowledge that this is huge progress. You know, huge progress. You know, 8 years ago, I used to drink 5 pints every night. I used to snort stuff up my nose. I used to, and this is, that's 5 years ago. Only a year ago, I'd be attempting to have random sex every night. Up me bumhole! Ugh. And then it's only the last 6 months that I've been in and out of green herb usage. Ooh, what's this used for? Let me know in the comments if you know what that's used for. Is this a turtle spotting spot? How cool would that be if we saw a turtle? Look at this dude. So yeah, really, it's all huge progress, and really I honour myself, you know, none of this is shame. I just like speaking into these aspects of psychology, these aspects of being human. I don't think enough people do it. I think everyone wants to present a shiny, perfect version of themselves. And this is why we live in such an inauthentic society where everyone believes in lies and lives in lies and contributes to lies and just lives like an indoctrinated pleb, essentially. But you know what? You know what I think it comes down to? I think it comes down to separation. Separation from God. In my case, in my belief system, separation from oneness. Still living in a dualistic world where I exist, where Tom Greatrex exists, and Tom Greatrex is separate from that butterfly. There's loads of butterflies here, guys. I don't know if you can see them on camera. Unbelievable. And Tom Greatrex is separate from that tree, and Tom Greatrex is separate from those Mexicans. You know, it's that separation. Actually, let's keep the camera up. It's that separation. Now they have to clear the seaweed, look. I think that's what it is. Yeah, we've been tyrannically attacked for centuries to believe in this fleshy bodysuit, to believe that this life is random, to believe that a big bang occurred, and it's all just a meaningless coincidence. So guess what people do? They grape and pillage because it's all meaningless. Can you imagine if we understood? If we understood the true sacredness of this life, the true oneness and connection and joy and beauty of this life, can you imagine how different it would be? No wonder they've tried to condition us all, because you can't control people that know that. So I think on a spiritual level, that's what it is. I think that's what that sense of foreboding is. It's like another day of feeling separate, another day of being deluded, essentially. But then when I think about these concepts, my intellectual mind, and this is definitely coming from the mind, goes to the experiences I've had on plant medicine. There was one particular mushroom trip where I took 15 grams of dried mushrooms. And oh, I'm interrupting lovers. Oh, sorry, lovers. Let's go down here. Let's leave them to finger each other. Yeah, on that mushroom trip, I absolutely became oneness. I absolutely, undoubtedly, it was so profound, merged with it all, and realized that I was consciousness. You are consciousness. A table is consciousness. A chair is consciousness. It's all consciousness. And in that realization, you know, it wasn't me anymore. It was consciousness realizing what it had done to itself. It was consciousness remembering that it was consciousness through this particular shard in that moment. But I was irrelevant. It could have been anyone, because it was just all consciousness. And the harrowing realization that consciousness had of what it had done to itself, that essentially, and of course this could be skewed through my personal projection onto life, it may not be true, but this is what I experienced, that consciousness had created all of this, everything that we call the world, the stupid floating flat rock. Yes, it is flat, but anyway, you don't need to go and subscribing over it, you silly globetards. Don't let that cognitive dissonance get in the way of good knowledge. But yeah, consciousness's harrowing realization that it had done this to itself, it had forgotten what it is, and that there was no way back really. I mean, I think, well, I know from that experience, I know in that experience, there was a way back. It's what we refer to as the awakening. But it meant everybody had to awaken. It meant even this guy had to awaken. And there was a girl working for me at the time, an absolute pudding. Like just the most unfortunate person I've ever met, both physically, mentally, spiritually, just completely retarded. Without being retarded, she was retarded. And it was showing me, or consciousness was realizing in that moment, Eleanor she was called, that even Ellie had to have an awakening. And not only Ellie, but this car had to have an awakening. And that rock had to have an awakening. Because it's all shards of consciousness escaping itself. Now why would consciousness do that? Because it's all alone. And this is what I come back to. This fear that all's we're doing, I'll bring it back to me now, all's I'm doing on this enlightenment journey, and yes, I am bloody enlightened, aren't I? I'm joking. But relative to humanity, you know, I am extremely conscious, there's no denying that. So yeah, the fear is that all this work I'm doing, all this enlightenment I'm gaining, all this wisdom I'm gaining, is just going to take me, or consciousness, us, back to where we escaped from in the first place. where we were in so much loneliness. I mean, imagine if you are God and you are eternal, there is no time, there is only infinity, you are never going to have a connection, you're never going to meet another. How harrowing would that be? And is that what is playing out? Obviously the Christians are going to spaz off over this, but for me this is the deepest experience I've ever had, and I like to go with experience rather than a book that was written by men. So I think that's the foreboding. I'm open, you know, I was speaking to a guy who I would class as a teacher, and I will speak to him again, I'm just having a break because it's a bit intense, who claims to live in oneness, and everything he said and the way he acted definitely showed that that was the case, and there was a peace and a presence to that, you know, what Tony Parsons speaks of, if any of you have come across him. So I'm open to there being more, let's just call it enlightenment, more realization, more movement towards oneness that is going to remove this sense of foreboding that I wake up with. But ultimately, I wonder if it's the foreboding of consciousness itself, the knowing that all we're doing, that yes, we do want to escape this, yes, consciousness wants to escape this, yes, consciousness, in my experience that I had, totally regretted what it had done to itself, and was like, yes, it was awful being alone, but there's nothing worse than being Ellie or this rock, or that truck. So yeah, I wonder if it's actually a foreboding that's coming through from consciousness itself. Just a few thoughts to muse on. Let me know what you think in the comments. Unless you're just going to write passages from the Bible and share more dogma. Actually, on my last video, questioning Christianity and Jesus, overall, I was amazed with the comments. Some really, really good comments with like empathy, you know, actually from Christians, but not just dogmatic, like, Jesus is the way, here's a Bible quote. Just what do they think? Like, how do they think that a man who is, you know, deeply experiencing life and asking the deepest questions in life is going to be changed by a sentence? And to me, it just shows the indoctrination, the conditioning that they live with that level of dogma. But let's not focus on the 10%. The 90% of comments were what I would expect from somebody who truly believes, from somebody who truly feels the presence of Jesus. Not that I really believe that's possible, but obviously that could be my limits. So yeah, I was really quite overwhelmed by them, and yeah, thanks. Thank you for all those comments. Anyway, leave a load more on this video. Let me know what you think about my crazy musings, and please do like and subscribe. And hopefully, I'll see you very soon. I am getting a bit tired of making YouTube videos, I must admit. This is my favourite channel, so I've got 3 channels, these are the other 2. I enjoy them all, but it's a lot. It's a lot creating anything between 2 to 5 videos a day. And it's the editing, it's not really this bit. This, you know, I love this bit. This is very natural for me. But the writing, descriptions, and it's mainly that actually. And then the whole monetization thing on my conspiracy channel. Like every time I upload a video, so they've started doing 24-hour reviews on pretty much all of my videos. So, and that's a channel that's all about, you know, the latest news. So, you know, if something happens, I want to get it out there. And then YouTube's like, somebody has to watch this first. It's going to take 24 hours. So that's really demotivating. All right, see you later.